Hello and welcome to Shoot the Ready, the GBPRA podcast. Got a very, very special episode for you tonight because I'm joined by the organisers of Precision Rifle Series in the UK and also the top 5 shooters in the series from 2023. Hello, chaps. How are we doing?
Hello.
Evening, Christian.
Fantastic to see you all, and really excited to be talking tonight about the Precision Rifle series that we've had this year, and also about your trip over to the States to shoot in the grand finale over there in the US. Whereabouts was it in the US that you were shooting again?
Kansas this year.
Kansas.
Twin Peaks, Box Canyon, yeah. Twin Peaks.
Excellent.
Rifle.
So you're all getting around a bit. That's fantastic. Right. Okay, without further ado, because Lawrence wants to go to bed, he's already told me. Let's start with introductions. So we'll start off with Andy, James and Trez, who organised the PRS UK in the UK. So Andy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Most of you listening probably know who I am by now. If you haven't heard me on a podcast before, you probably see me on the range, walking around looking grumpy. Just look for the tall bearded man. I'm Andy. I'm one of the first original directors of PRS UK. We set up PRS a couple of years back. I'm also one of the competitive shooters who shoots in the series. That's about it really. We'll get into more detail in a bit, I'm sure.
Yeah, and Andy, you've been on the show before, haven't you? So welcome back. Good to have you again.
Cheers.
James, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, pretty much the same scenario. One of the third wheels of PRS UK. I'm the not so tall, bold, not so angry chap running around on range. But yeah, that's about it, really.
I'm liking that you're giving us a visual description because not everybody watches this on YouTube. A lot of people do only listen to it on podcasts, so I'm sure that they can all picture you very well now. Welcome back, James. Great to see you. Trez?
Hello. I'm the other part of the three wheels of PRS UK. I've been on this podcast before, so people know I would have seen my face if they've watched our previous one. We've been on various podcasts on other channels as well, so everyone's heard my brummy voice before. I'm normally the loud brummy one anyway that everyone can hear. So
good to have you back on the show, Trez. Nice to see you. Right, okay. I think we'll start with who won the Precision Rifle series this year.
Daniel.
Danny boy.
Nice man, Dan.
Yeah.
Dan, first of all, and again, congratulations on winning the series. So let's start with you, mate. Do you want to go first and introduce yourself?
All right, yeah. Hi, lads. I'm Daniel from Ireland and been shooting precision rifle for a couple of years and shot the guys series for the last 2 years. Done well enough. The previous year came second and was lucky enough to pip a few lads this year and just take first place. So.
That's great. Well done on the win, and it went down right to the finale, I think, didn't it?
Yeah, it went down to less than one impact between first and second, and even at that, we thought the finale was over. I thought Josh had a good lead coming into the final day, and just the way things worked out, I just managed to pip it.
Josh, I know. I mean, a great win, Dan. But yeah, I mean, Josh, you've been so consistent all season, right at the top of your game. Would you like to go next and introduce yourself?
Yeah, Josh Martin. I've been shooting PRS for 4 or 5 years since the start of it in the UK. Instantly got hooked and I've never stopped really. What's there to say about it really? Yeah. I've done pretty well this year, and as Dan said, sadly missed out on taking the championship this year. Can all come down to one stage.
That's the fine margins when you're at the top of the game, I think.
Yeah. But it's been a great season. Well done to the guys running it all, everyone who I've shot with, and it really has been a good season this year. We've been lucky with weather. Great with attendees. The sport is just growing and growing. It's getting better and better in the UK.
Apart from February, Josh.
I wasn't going to mention that match, Andy.
Anyway, welcome to the show, Josh. Rory, would you like to go next?
Same as Dan. From Ireland, come over and shot in these leagues for the last few years. Managed to win it last year, finished second this year just behind Dan. And it seems to be just getting bigger and better and better and better. And can't wait for next year already.
Yeah. And again, congratulations on a very successful season. You guys have all shot absolutely amazing for a number of years now, but and hopefully we'll talk a little bit about how you sort of see yourselves on the world stage at the moment as an international shooter, but certainly in the UK and over the water in Ireland, you guys are certainly dominating the sport right now. So again, Rory, thanks for coming on the show. Joe, would you like to go next?
Yeah, so Joe Pask, been shooting precision rifle for about 3 years now. Been shooting most of my life. They've been sort of shotgun shooting and rifle shooting and growing up around it. Managed to finish third place in the series last year and managed to scrape fifth place for the series this year by one impact. So just managed to get my invite to go to the finale, which was awesome.
So just booked yourself a place on the plane.
Just by literally one shot. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, congratulations. It's it's an amazing prize to be able to go out and shoot the finale in the USA. So well done for getting there. Lawrence, no stranger to the show. We usually, inviting you along to talk about your success as an international shooter on IPRF matches. But do you want to just introduce yourself again for those that may have not have listened to previous podcasts?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm Lawrence Barnes. I've been shooting PRS for just over 2 years, I think. Shooting competitively for about 16 or 17 years with a background in clays and FITASC and sporting clays specifically. Lucky enough to win the IPRF factory world champion title in 2022. And admittedly, first part of this season, I really did focus on qualifying for the factory team for 2024, for next year, for the full bore, getting confused with the rimfire this year. And but the second half of the season, I decided to give myself a bit of a break, throw all the weights on the gun and try and make a race for the one of the spots to get to the US. And I was lucky enough to finish fourth in the season and secure one of those places. So I'm very, very happy about that. I'm really grateful to the guys for the opportunity.
Yeah, well, I'd say it was a wise move to because you certainly had a fantastic season and again getting yourself on the plane to Texas, an excellent outcome.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy. Couldn't be happier, really.
Excellent. So, Andy, James, and Trez, do you want to just tell us a little bit about the season? How many matches you've shot? What were your aspirations going into the start of the season? And do you feel like you've met all of those goals and targets that you set yourselves?
On a personal level, Kristen, or for
well, I was just thinking about the series itself just for now. We can talk personally though, but yeah, let's chat a little bit about the series itself. Maybe talk a little bit about the format so people understand, how things work with the series.
Yeah, so we hosted 6 matches this year. We planned on hosting the full 6. We ran every single one that we intended to. We'd love to be able to shoot more, but just trying to squeeze them into a calendar is just not really possible. We set out this year to at least grow the participants and the competitors in each match, which happened on every single match. We had more new shooters turn up at every single one, which is exactly what we wanted. We planned to improve every single match, be that course of fire, prop building, barricades, targetry, the way things were run, everything from the top of the bottom to the list. We planned on improving that each time. I think we did that. I think a lot of the shooters were very happy. We learned a lot at the start of the series. The first match, that was a very, very challenging match for everybody. The bloody horrible conditions made it quite difficult, but we learned from that and then pushed forward for the last 5 matches of the year, including the finale. And as I said to you, exponentially just grew it each time. We've been very lucky to pull a total of about 15 international shooters across the series as well, from the likes of Italy, France, Italy,
Netherlands.
France,
Germany,
Germany,
Netherlands.
Norway, Belgium,
Ireland.
Netherlands, Ireland. Obviously, the lads we're very lucky to pull them all across. And
Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, mate, it is a foreign country up here.
It is. So yeah, I think we hit our goals. I'd have liked to smash our goals. I don't think we smashed our goals. I think that we'd have liked to hit some more things as well. But all that said, I think we had a good series. I think everybody that came and shot a match was very happy. I think everything was run very well. And I always say it, but I don't like to try and be big-headed. But I do think we now run probably the best matches this side of the Atlantic. I'd like to say that we can improve on that again next year. Really, that's where my head is on anyway.
Well, it's a proud boast, mate. But I know you guys do take a lot of pride in delivering that quality product to the shooters in the UK and internationally. And whenever I talk to anybody, they do talk about excellent courses of fire, excellent props. Just a great format and really enjoying that making an event of a match with a weekend away, shooting 2 days, and I can see a couple of people nodding on. So I'm not talking out my backside there. I think the feedback is that you're certainly onto a winner with everything, and the numbers seem to tell the tale as well. Which match got you your highest attendance to date this season?
Or August.
That was
July. Holland.
No, August was slightly quieter. August was the Phoenix Barrels, yeah. So it was
Highland Outdoors. July.
Highland Outdoors PRC, yeah. It was Highland Outdoors PRC. Yeah.
How many shooters did you get for that match?
55 in total, I think it was in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So highest attended 2-day match in the UK so far. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a fantastic result. And like you've already touched on, to be bringing in international shooters as well, shooters from around Europe. That's a fantastic achievement. It just shows that you've raised the profile of the competition massively.
Yeah, we're very proud of it.
Excellent. So I mean, guys, for you guys shooting the matches, was there anybody who shot every single match?
I think they all did. I know Joe missed one, and I know Loz missed one. I think the others, you all shot them all, didn't you, boys?
Yeah.
Any particular one that stands out as your favourite?
February.
Why is that, Joe?
It's the only one I won.
What happened to the rest of the season then?
I don't know really. I let the Irish and Josh in. Yeah, Josh won them.
So okay, let's do a recap then. So Joe, you won the first one back in February, and then Josh, did you win all the next ones after that?
I've done 3 this year. Oh crikey!
Yeah, you must have done that if you missed one.
Well, let's ask the Irish. Which 2 did you guys grab?
I think you won the second and third match. Dan won the fourth. You won the fifth, and then I won the finale.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, you guys were all pretty much consistently in the top 5 at the matches that you were shooting. Was there any other competition for those 5 spots in America?
Some of the European guys, when they came over, mixed up the top 5 significantly. I think it was the Highland Outdoors match where there was at least 2 of the internationals were in that top 5.
Yeah.
Apart from Rory and Dan, who's the best international shooter that's come over?
Seppo, Seppo definitely. I know Sindra as well. Yeah, probably a mix up between those 2 guys. Yeah.
I'd say they're pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, they're very good shots. They come over and they're there. But the thing is, they're nice guys as well. Come over and they just jump in and have fun. They just know how to have a good time, which is the best thing as well.
And it's not knocking the other international shooters as well. I mean, Christoph Strons.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He's really, he's a threat any day of the week.
Yep.
He's a top guy, really nice guy, and an incredible shooter.
Fantastic. So how does the scoring system work then?
Each impact's one point. And
not in the finale.
Oh, for the finale.
It's based on a percentage of the winner, isn't it? So the winning score gets 100%, and then everybody's score is based off what the winner gets. So match winner gets a maximum of 100 points for the match, and then your percentage thereof, and then the finale score is a 200% effectively. So the winner gets 200 points, and the season is based on your top 2 series plus the finale. So
that was right.
2 lots of 100 and a 200 to give you a maximum of 400.
Okay. Do you have to shoot the finale to get that end of season? I mean, obviously it's in your advantage if it's double the points, but through the other matches and still get a qualification score for USA?
No, you have to shoot the finale to get your qualification score to be considered for that. I don't think you'd be able to finish in the top.
No, you wouldn't.
5 anyway.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, statistically, it wouldn't work. But yeah, even if by some absolute miracle you did manage, you'd have to still shoot the finale to get your invite.
Yeah, of course. So, Josh, I was there at the finale, and I found it quite fascinating just how that leaderboard was developing across the course of the day. And obviously, you went into that finale sort of leading the pack. Do you want to just talk to us a little bit about how that day evolved for yourself and what's happening there, the emotions? Don't want to get into it, no?
Bit of a blur now, if I'm honest, because since we've done that, we obviously went to America, but I think day 1 started off very well. I was feeling very confident. I think I shot fairly well, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, was I drawing with Sindre the start of day 1 or the end of day 1?
I think he was 1 point in front of Sindre at the end of day 1.
Yeah. So went into day 2. I was a good boy. I didn't even have a drink at the pub. Went into day 2. It was going really well. Cleaned a few stages. Got to one of the stages, which was a really easy stage. It was the metal cactus, and I think there was just 2 positions. There was 5 shots off one position and 5 shots off another position. Really easy, take it for granted stage. And there was 2 targets, one on the left, which was the closer one at, say, 450, and then there was one on the right at, say, 500. So I went off, did me dope. And for some stupid reason, I didn't think to engage the brain on how they were written. The first one was the closest one, and the second one was the furthest one. So I went to my turret. I've got the white turret marks, the white turret tape on my turret. Went to it, put a line on the closer one, put a line on the further one. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, but because I was looking at my turret, I didn't engage my brain to think, hold on, one's far, one's near. I was looking at the targets down range, and I thought, right, one's on the left, one's on the right. And I just put my turret on the one on the right, not engaging that it was the wrong way around. Never do it again. Never, ever do it again. I think that's what I did anyway. That's the only thing I can make any sense of. Went to the stage. First round, didn't see a thing. So I was like, that's really, really odd. Maybe something up with the bullets, complete flyer, missed it, or that never, ever happens. You never, at that target as well, you'd never not see the miss, or you'd see the hit. And that completely, I think for the whole year, I've never had a one target do that completely baffles my brain of what the hell. So that sends me into a bit of a spiral. I thought, well, I'm not going to change anything. If something was wrong, I'm not going to change anything. Send another one. And then I saw the target move, but it was only so much enough that I questioned it and shouted, that moved. Someone else said, no, it didn't. But I'd hit the T-post. I hit the quarter-inch T-post below it. So my wind call was absolutely banging. But I'd hit the T-post and just saw the plate go like that. I was like, that can't be right. So then I aimed a bit above, sent another one. And by that point, I was 4 or 5 rounds in, and then it was time to change. So I thought, right, I have no idea what happened there.
Yeah.
And because it hadn't happened the whole season, I've not had that instinct to think something is completely wrong here. I've not had to deal with that all year. So then when I went to the next target, I just dialed the dope for the next one of where I thought it would be. And near enough, the same thing happened again with 3 or 4 shots.
Wow.
And then I was like, I think I sent the last shot and thought, oh, you pillock, you absolute muppet, your dope was the wrong way around. So drop, I think it was either a 5 or a 10 or no, the 10 or a 12 round stage.
I think it was maybe
it was
12.
Was it 12? Yeah, it was 12.
12,
so
yeah.
I watched 12 shots on the finale on double points. So yeah, it was a great match.
And for you guys, but when you guys are at these matches, competing together, there's not a lot of points that are separating you at the end of those 2-day matches, and you're really not dropping a lot of points on each stage. If any, you're very used to cleaning stages, such as the high standard of your shooting. So, what were you feeling at that time, Josh? Did you feel like it's gone?
Oh, mate. Yeah, I knew the championship was gone. I knew that was gone. But I knew there was 3 places to get to America paid for the flight. So I thought, dig deep. Well, no, I didn't actually. I thought I need to take 5 minutes to go and cry over there on that pile of tyres. So I went and cried on the pile of tyres for 5 minutes.
I think you gave me a cuddle afterwards, didn't you?
I gave quite a few people cuddles.
You give me one as well. I wasn't even anywhere near your squad.
So yeah, I dealt with my emotions for 5-10 minutes, and then I thought, right, come on, get back into it. And because there's been a couple of times this year where you do have mental errors, and you really do have to dig deep to forget everything that you've just done, and then you'll carry on to win the match, or you'll carry on to still be on the podium. So I've really learnt this year to forget about the negatives, move forward, and crack on with the rest of it. And then I came in, and I think that might have been the first stage in the afternoon. And then I carried on to clean a few more stages after that. So that got me going again. And a couple of people actually, I think it was Loz actually, said to me, I can tell you've put it behind you now, because I was actually sitting there smiling and having a good crack with the rest of the lads again. But yeah, I knew the championship had gone from that one bad stage, but kept trying to push to try and get one of those spots on the on the plane.
So I mean, look, I'm glad you made it into that 5 after that. But I'm looking at Lawrence, Dan, Rory, and Joe now, and I know you guys are all very close friends, good mates, and you wouldn't want to wish that on anybody. But you must have been thinking, that's the door open here. We can get in here now and put in a good performance and take the match.
I think all I was thinking is, I can't believe he hit the T-post that many times.
You don't get points for that.
Yeah, he kept saying, the target's moved, I can see the splash. And we were all there, like, really quietly under our breath saying, do you think he's going to figure out he's smashing the T-post?
what I'm trying to get at is, you guys, elite shooters in the UK, elite shooters internationally. Okay, you've either shot in America, PRS finals, you've shot for your country. And, and clearly that was a dramatic moment. That was maybe the defining moment, potentially, of that finale. And so much was at stake, for on that stage. How did you guys feel having seen that happen, and what it might mean for you guys?
I think Rory summed it up best.
I was going to say, Dan probably looked up and went...
I think Rory summed it up best. He said, to be fair, there's no one more deserving than Josh to have won the series. Like, he shot the most consistent out of any of us, and to lose it on one stage really hurts. I think we can also want to beat each other on a best day, not by default. Yeah. So gutted for Josh, really, but yeah.
Yeah, no, of course, and I mean, I don't want to downplay again the fact that you guys are all mates and you want each other to do really well, and you want to win it on your own merits, not because somebody else has maybe made a mistake. But Dan, when you saw that happen, did you realise the importance of it for your own match? Did you realise that opened the door?
Oh yeah, definitely. I knew on day one I didn't shoot the best. I dropped a few points. I don't even think I was in top 3 after the day one. At the start of day 2, I picked it up and was shooting well. And then standing behind Josh watching the rounds, the first 1 or 2, you're like, yes, he missed one. And you're thinking about the 1 or 2 points he might gain back. And then as it keeps going on, you actually do feel very sorry for the lad shooting, because we standing back knew exactly what was going on. Oh, he's dialed the wrong dope. He's dialed the far dope in the near target, and the near dope in the far target. It was hard to watch in one way, but at the same time, you're just calculating in your head, okay, how many do I have to hit, or what's the difference between us now? Do that kind of way. You just have to, no, you can't let anyone else's thing affect you either. You kind of have to go for it at the same time, you know.
I think more people are standing back around the binoculars.
You waiting to go as well, like.
I was gonna say, everyone's standing the binoculars after the first few shots, like Dan was saying, they're like, oh, it's opening up a bit from the day. But then after a while, everyone was just looking at each other like a bit shocked, wondering
it was very quiet on that stage.
Yeah, because you don't know
I think what makes it worse is we don't run. The series is in top 1 to 10 in the same squad. The finale, it was all the top boys were in the same squad. So literally 1 to 10, I think, was in the same squad. So they all watched it unfold. It wasn't like, oh yeah, such and such just in this. It's they watched the whole thing there and then.
What does that do to the? Sorry, Lawrence, go on.
That's the nice thing to stop berating Josh for 5 seconds and try and change the subject.
I was going to say
the fact that the finale is double points. Going into it, I will hold my hand up and say I was a skeptic about that, in the sense that I think if somebody can slog their guts out all year and then be penalised by potentially one poor performance, which is skewed against all the others, but that in itself, from having seen it from the other side, that allows opportunity for somebody who's not already in the top 3 or the top 5 to really put in a standout performance and break through. And it keeps that change in the trip. It's not the same people going all the time, although obviously there is a lot of the same people because they're very good shooters. But it helps to mix it up a little bit. It certainly helped me get in it. So
while we're still on the old Josh Martin subject, I would like to bring up the fact that he has successfully cleaned one of a 2-day match. He's the first person
hadn't forgotten
in Britain to do that.
I was actually once we'd done with the drama of the finale, I was going to ask Josh about that. So let's move on.
While we're ribbing him, we may as well give him
make him feel better.
The reason I was going to ask, the reason I was going to ask about that actually, Josh, was because at the NRA match that we've just attended on Saturday, another competitor, one of the top competitors, mentioned about how he felt that the standard of shooting in the UK has really gone up a notch this season. And I think nothing really underlined that more than your performance at that particular match where you cleaned it. So do you want to just talk about what that felt like and how you achieved it?
I think the last shot of the day probably sums it up. Can't remember what prop it was now. Can you, Loz? It was a tank trap. It might have been a tank trap. It was a tank trap. Me and Loz were in the same squad, and we'd known going through the day, and I think a couple of the other lads were keeping track of it, but I hadn't shouted about it all day. And it got down to the last stage, fairly straightforward stage. Last round went towards the target, ding, cleared the rifle, and I let out the biggest whoop whoop. Loz come running over to me. We had a big old man hug, and we were screaming and shouting, saying "Yay!" Everyone else was like looking at us like, "Wow, I cleaned a stage once as well." But that feeling of just getting all the way through the day and then not dropping one all day, that was incredible. And it wasn't a meatball match or anything by the standard. It was just a match that worked. I was in the zone. I'd got a few new different bits of kit that I was bonding with, and it improved my performance. And I just felt like I'd really just gone through the day just comfortable. Like I was enjoying it. I was comfortable.
Very well deserved.
I was happy.
How many you dropped that whole match, Josh? 6?
I want to say it's less than that, Andy, but I'm not too sure.
It was
Something
two
like
or
that.
three.
2?
I thought it was 3.
3.
Yeah,
Three, yeah.
very many.
Yeah, you
Less than 5.
you were on it that match. You were like proper focused.
Yeah.
Everybody watching you, everything was just smooth. So I don't want to watch you just ego go. Yeah, but it was awesome to watch that match. I remember standing there watching it. And it was incredible to watch. Yeah, to only drop that many across the whole 2 day as well.
It's been good to watch all year.
Yeah, it was a really good experience to do. And then day 2 just sort of happened. I don't think I dropped the shot until like towards lunchtime, but that it didn't affect it. I think as time goes on, and the more you do succeed at what you're doing, it's not repetitive, but it's exposure to having those feelings and having those exposure and feelings of winning, getting to certain levels that you then want to yourself to break through them. You can't put too much pressure on yourself, although I still do. But do you know what I mean? Having feeling those feelings going into different days doesn't wreck you sometimes. It actually improves you. So yeah, day 2, I just carried on doing what I was doing, cleaned a few, and then just dropped a couple on the following day. But I wasn't stupidly gutted because I knew that whole weekend was still a big step in the right direction.
Special weekend.
Yeah,
absolutely. So I mean, Josh, for me that underlines the fact that your performances are kicking on. Other people are talking about how just the standard of shooting, all you guys and other shooters is stepping up a notch or two.
Definitely throughout the country. Like it's not just me. The top 5 or 6 have really shone out this year.
Yeah.
Like the Irish, I keep saying the Irish. Sorry, guys, I keep referring to you as the Irish. But Rory and Dan, they last year they were on fire. This year it was my turn to be on fire, but then they're ramping and catching straight up again towards the end. This year, Loz has come on massively with shooting his AI. Joe's the same. Joe's stepped it up another 10-15% as well. And there's a couple of the other guys that aren't here with us tonight have also done the same. But it's not just about the skill level, it's the mental level as well. And thank you for blowing my trumpet, but Dan did deserve to win that day too, because I had a mental error. Dan didn't have a mental error. Dan kept going and didn't have that mental error. And that deserves a win just as much as having the skill to do it does as well.
Very gracious. So what is it that's raising the standard of shooting for you guys, raising the standard across the UK? Is it because we've now got so many matches on the calendar? 6 PRS UK matches this season, pretty much a match every other season, and 2-day matches. You're all competing against each other. What's going on there?
I think, just to jump in there quick, I saw Loz's hand was up quickly, but I just took something very quick on that. I think that people over here now believe that they can shoot as well as the rest of the world. They know that they've got the skill to do it, and all of a sudden the mental there's been a click upstairs, and people have gone, hang on then, come on, we can do it, let's crack on. Go on, Loz. I saw you put your hand up, mate.
I'd tie in with that, really. I completely agree. I think if you look at the international opportunities that we've had over the last 2 years, be it 2-2 or full bore, you can't help but look at that and think, wow, for a little tiny island like on the edge of the Atlantic, we're not that far behind. Yes, there is
two
a gap.
islands. Two islands, Lawrence.
Yeah, 2 islands, sorry.
What's with the balloons?
Come from?
I wonder if I do that. Mine doesn't do it.
I don't know what's going on there.
Those are Irish balloons.
Sorry, Lawrence, but it is 2 islands.
Yeah, but also I think the most important thing is the standard of matches, like the fact that you've got an environment that shooters can behave like professional sports people. Aside from the funding, obviously, because we're not at that stage, but you've got very, very professional matches being run. It's very professional selection procedure. I mean, obviously, it goes obviously, I'm naturally going to say the PRS guys are the most professional, but you've got to look at the GBPRA selection procedure for the international shooting. the C2 matches that we've had at Bisley and soon to have in Exmoor. It's everybody. I won't discount Gardeners either. It's everybody who's putting on matches is doing a professional job of it. Not everybody is as professional as PRS UK. I will add that.
Thank you, Lawrence.
But everybody's really, like, they've set the bar high for how to put on a match, and it's really, I think that has an effect because it allows people that opportunity. It allows people to commit to something, to make that expenditure that's required for a lot of people to excel in this sport, because they've got the confidence that there's that format and that framework behind them, and there's going to be something, they're really making something of this moving forward.
And are you guys pushing yourselves on to new levels? The fact that you're competing against each other month in, month out.
That's what I was going to say. It feels like we're always pushing each other on. We always want to catch up to each other when we're in good form and everything. I think that's the biggest thing. There's a good pool of guys over here who love it just as much as we do, and you're always trying to beat each other. It's competition is the best. Pushes you on way quicker.
I think I'd like to add something on the end of that as well. We're all kind of, talking about the matches and stuff and how well that they've been run up and down the UK. But I think it's down to the shooters themselves as well, because if they aren't putting the effort in to get good at this sport, and you just want to turn up to a match every couple of months and have a laugh with your mates, then that's fine. That's one of the reasons why we do it. But if you want to really excel, you've got to put the practice in at home. It's just, and I don't mean you've got to go down to the range and you've got to burn out 3 or 4 barrels a year by practicing. I don't mean that, but there's other ways of practicing precision rifle, whether that's, working out what you think a wind call is by your surroundings. You ain't going to even have your gun with you when you're doing that. So that's one thing you can do. You can dry fire. You can, all these different drills at 100 yards. And we constantly at PRS UK, we have people saying, no, I can't practice. I've only got 25 yards, or I've only got 100 yards to be able to zero. I said, well, that's all you ever need. And that is how you improve. And on the flip side to that, go and get some training from someone. I mean, unfortunately, we don't really have the proper instruction in the UK. But when we brought Modern Day Sniper lads over in April, I would like to say, firstly, that Phil and Kaylan didn't realise just how good you guys was, because everybody in here all went to the advanced marksmanship course. Yeah, they're not used to teaching guys as good as you, and I think they actually told you that. They don't normally have the level of skill that you guys do. But I mean, just off the top of my head, one of the shooters, I think he's at the moment he's in the open GB spots. He's Adam Fairwell. He was finishing 5th, 6th bottom on most matches, and now he's up in the top 10 in the last 4 matches that he's shot in. So that's him putting effort in, and that's what every other shooter in UK should look to him and go, well, I'm down round about this kind of level, and I can get to this level in this really short space of time. It's going to get time to catch you guys. But if you put the effort in, it can be done, and that's what we need to get everybody to realise. It's on you to get good at this. You can't just hope it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Would anyone agree with me in saying that the kit as well, the availability of kit, and how much new kit we've all got in the last, say, 18 months? Say 2 years ago, we didn't have a massive amount of variety. You had the standard ACC, XLR had only just started coming into the country. There wasn't any MPA, there wasn't any foundation, there wasn't a real big supply of bags. Custom actions, you had to get them from a gunsmith. You couldn't, well, you still do, but the availability of kit and the amount of people which have improved from their factory rifle to then go to their customs, the amount of people with custom actions and Phoenix barrels and other barrel manufacturers and full race chassis is doubled in the last year.
Yeah.
That was by far the biggest and quick change for me. My first couple of matches was shooting a hunting stock. And the only change I had was going from that to a chassis. Everything else stayed the same. And that made a massive difference in sort of ease of shooting, I suppose, positionally.
There's hope for me yet then.
You need a chassis, Christian.
Yeah. I can't wait.
I don't know how that barrel hasn't turned into a 308 yet.
Yeah, it's nearly there. It keeps going though. It was doing all right for me on Saturday, I'll tell you. So look, so it sounds to me like it's a bit of a recipe that's going on. There's like you guys have got that sort of intense, friendly but intense competition going on. You know, you're pushing each other on and on a new height. You've got, you know, a full calendar with some high quality PRS UK matches, 2-day matches where you don't have to wait long to get into your next match and keep, you know, working on the things that you need to work on and repeating the things that you're doing well. There's the element of equipment that's kick things on a bit as well, and then as well as the time that people are investing in training and whatnot, and you know, opportunities that you guys are offering the UK and further afield with things like modern day sniper courses and so on. Is there any other elements that are feeding into the success of the sport in the UK and Ireland at the moment?
I think it's the opportunity to shoot internationally as well. I mean, Europe has certainly picked up a lot of PRS competitions. Loz has travelled, and Josh, to Italy and France for matches. We had the Worlds last year, and shooting the PRS finale in America last year and this year as well. I think all those things, shooting against, you know, top level competitors and top people from around the world, it pushes you on. It makes you a better shooter by challenging yourself more and taking you outside your comfort zone. Yeah. Traveling away from your home range with maybe, you know, equipment that isn't all yours, like ammo and things like that, and having to compromise. I think it does really test you, and yeah, going through that sort of experience.
So that's maybe a really good time to segue into talking about the finale in Texas in the US. I remember last year I was in the airport in Heathrow, ready to fly off to India with work, and then you guys were flying in the other direction. I was going east, you guys were going west, and you all trooped past me in the airport lounge, and I was a bit gutted that I wasn't on that flight with you guys rather than going over to India for a week and a half of hard slog work. But what was the experience like of going to Texas this year?
Kansas. It's Kansas, Christian, not Texas.
Kansas.
You flew to Texas?
Can we not talk about stuff?
No, we didn't. We flew to Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado.
Oh, you flew to Colorado?
Yeah.
We flew to Texas.
Yeah, Dan.
The Irish.
Yeah. Dan.
The match was in Texas.
No, the match was in Kansas.
Kansas. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Nebraska.
Kansas. Yeah. I'm no good with geography.
Canada.
Just shout.
Kansas. Right. It's Kansas. So tell me, how was the experience of shooting in Kansas in the finale?
Go on, Loz. I can see you're itching.
Windy. Let's just say windy. Yeah.
Sunny.
Yeah.
Different is the best way to do it. It's by far the best range I've ever shot at. We shot at K&M the previous finale. They're two very, very, very different ranges. K&M, depending on weather, obviously, you're not generally going to leave the plate when you're shooting there, and it comes down to your mental and your real skill on bits and pieces there. You go over to Kansas to Twin Peaks, it's a completely different topography. You've got panning targets between anything from 45-degree pan to 160-degree pan between target 1 and target 5 on some stages. One stage there was, if 12 o'clock's target 1, you were going from 12 to 11 to probably 9, then back across to about 3 o'clock. It was just absolutely wild. So very, very different to what any of us have experienced before. You have to be on your game with wind. You have to be thinking about your angles, what changes with your wind direction when you're moving from a left to a right pan. And they did some weird stuff over there. Some weird stuff. But overall, the whole experience is just massively humbling, because you go, bloody hell, this is different league, completely different league. And then Dan makes us look like idiots and finishes 25th.
Wow.
Look at the Irish.
I mean, 25th in that field. 25th out of what? How many shooters was there?
255.
Yeah.
235 with the best shooters.
55.
Across the world, and you ended up 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the best 250 shooters on this planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Farming.
You must be very proud of yourself, Dan.
Yeah, I was delighted. Like when we were going over, like last year, we had a few bits of problems with ammo and stuff like that, so we didn't really get to show our best or what we were capable of. But like, we definitely learned last year that we belong there. Like we weren't showing up. Like even though we had problems, we still Rory finished in the top 100, and I was just outside it. And so this year the goal was okay, top 100, top 50 be great, but top 100 was kind of where I'd be happy. So to finish in 25th overall is delighted, but kind of one of them things just where you're kind of mentally focused and you're on. You kind of just know. Like I think it was Rory came up to me and he just said, "How are you going?" It's like, geez, I don't feel like you're not going to miss only to a win call. You can see everything. You're making good corrections. If you miss once, you're just going to correct and get on. There wasn't anything too confusing other than I found a lot of work in the range cards at the start, like the lads were saying with the angles. To hold those 1 or 2 stages where you might be holding 0.8 at 500 yards, and then at the 800 yard target you can be straight up. It's just something we wouldn't be used to at all.
Yeah.
And then just kind of making guesses as far as the terrain goes by some ranges were blocked by rocks, and then the next target over, even though it's only 50 yards further, might need twice the wind because it's out in the open. So it was just a lot of kind of guessing on our behalf. I think if you knew the range a bit more, it'd be a bit more of a help too.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely disadvantaged by not knowing the range, disadvantaged, I guess, by the fact that you haven't to travel so far and all the effort that goes into that. But yeah, it sounds like it certainly came together.
Yeah, just everything comes together, even when you're 0 on first day and don't have to adjust 0 from here, everything going in one hole. You check it at the end of day 1, day 2, still the exact same, just 0 doesn't move, Joe. So just stuff like that. You need all them little things to click together for it to come together, I think.
Great. Well done, mate. 25th. That's awesome. Joe, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you there.
It's frozen.
Oh yeah, Joe's
he just looks really grumpy, as if he's been spoken.
He's just giving me the evils because
there he is.
Over him.
He's back.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. He's not. So Dan, you were 25th overall. Rory, how was your match? Where did you come in?
73rd, I think. I think 73rd overall. Again, last year as I finished like 94th, something. I said, okay, top 50 be great, top 70 great, but yeah, we went very well. I think there's 2 bad stages over the whole competition that I really wanted to get back again. I think it was the end of both days. I was a bit exhausted and I was a bit tired, and I just mental lapses and just fell apart. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. In day 2, I'd only dropped like 2 or 3 points going into the last few stages, and I dropped 16 points in my last 3 stages, and that just killed me. I dropped right down. I would have been right. I would have been up in my goal, top 50, top 40, in the last 3 stages, and kicked my ass. But other than that, it was great experience. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that with a couple of people in France. It was such hot weather and hot conditions, and there was a couple of people that really did succumb to the conditions towards the end of each day of shooting. It can be tough, can't it?
Yeah.
Joe, how? Sorry, I spoke over you and then you froze. And welcome back.
Apologies. Yeah, I think my internet dropped out there. Yeah, the other thing with the finale was that I think there was 90 targets across the 20 stages, so that's like 4.5 targets on every single stage as an average, which is a lot more than we're normally used to shooting in the UK. We're probably mixing between probably an average of 3 maybe targets per stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot more to think about in that sense.
Yeah.
But you've been out there, you've experienced that now in a massive match, and that's a learning that you'll remember and hopefully take forward for next time.
Yeah.
And how was your match, Joe?
Yeah, I was not disappointed. Had a pretty good day on Saturday. I think I sat 77th at the end of Saturday, and then had a couple of bad stroke, distinctly average stages on Sunday, and just slipped down to 101st, which I really wanted to break the top 100. That was my goal before I went out there. So yeah, just failed on that, but not by a lot.
One's a nice number.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah. It was good. The whole experience was great. It's good seeing people who you've met at the Worlds in the finale last year, and also meeting a load of new people as well. So that's the whole experience is brilliant.
So Josh, that's your third major international match now, and you've shot at other international matches as well. How was your competition over in Kansas?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was very much similar to the other guys. I wanted to go over there and improve from the last year. Last year, I think I finished up like 160th. It was definitely in the above 150 anyway, I think. But I was using some different gear. I had different barrels. I was using factory ammo. I hadn't 100% squared away my equipment to be at a point that I was 100% happy with it. So this year, I was definitely taking my own ammo, definitely taking a barrel which wasn't going to go halfway during a match. It was like Dan said, you get to the 0 board, bang, 1-0, end of the 0 day, bang, same place, same velocity. Everything was just going really well. Day 1, with the range being split up into 2, you have 2 sides of the road. So you'd have the what I call the mountain side, and then you go to the other side of the road, and then you've got like the shrubbery side with the sloping hills and the grass, that side. I started most of my day I spent all my day on the what I call the mountain side. I did stage 20 over the road, then came over and did the whole mountain side on day 1. And it's hard to pick up how you're stacked at the end of day 1, because then the other side of the day, or the flip side, you've then got all the other stages. So the other guys in different squads might have shot they would have shot completely different stages to you at the end of day 1. So I had a good day 1. I cleaned a few stages, but had a few mares rushing, not taking in as much information as I should have, and then not being able to correct off of that. Silly mistakes, really. In hindsight, I'm definitely going to go over earlier next time.
Yeah,
I felt the jet lag, getting used to what you're doing. Lawrence wanted to drag me off the train up day by lunchtime because I just wanted to keep shooting. You end up burning the candles at both ends, and if you don't take that downtime before to compose yourself, get your kit ready, and just relax with it all and socialize, rather than just being 100% committed and focused right up to the start of day 1, you end up burning yourself out. So I did find there was a few silly mental errors that I just thought, going into the mental error thing again, that I could have done a little bit better. I think we had a meal in the evening, and I think Joe and Rory were both quite a way ahead of me at the end of day 1. I think I was 100 and something. Can't remember where I was, to be honest, but I knew Rory and Joe were quite a way ahead of me. Excuse me. Day 2 started well. Actually, no, it didn't. No, it didn't start well. First stage of the day, I missed one target out of sequence, and then I had to correct my sequence. So I got a 5 out of 10 on the first stage. Then it was back into the mentality of, come on, dig deep, crack on for the rest of the day. And then I had a really good day 2, like really good. I think I only dropped like another 8 or 10 shots all day. So I had multiple cleans, a few 7s, a couple 9s, and I finished up 67th.
Yeah, good result.
I think something like that. Yeah, 67th, 65, 67th. So it was under the 100, and I was like, wow, that's a fair improvement. So it goes to show how you got to stay in the game, because it can completely flip round, and the guys that have shot one stage haven't shot the other. Or you just have a better day on day 2 and end up creeping up the board. So yeah, out of all of us, I snuck in behind Dan and got the 2nd spot, and yeah, I was quite happy with that.
I love that you're already thinking the next year. What am I going to do next year to have an even better campaign? And I guess, this is something that I think we're really developing in the UK now, is that cohort of shooters that, are wanting to perform really well on the international stage, whether that's IPRF finals, whether that's PRS UK finals. And Dan and Rory, I'm saying the UK, I include you guys in this as well for Ireland. but really, really committed to challenging the best shooters on that international stage. And the more you guys keep getting those experiences year after year, I think the more that those performances will continue to rise. So it sounded like you actually started preparing though quite early on, Josh. I mean, you were talking about getting your rifle squared away, your barrel, and so when did the preparation really start for you?
Yeah, I knew when a certain because I log all my barrel count. I knew when a barrel was coming to the end halfway through the PRS season, so I thought, right, I'm going to time this so I get it spun up, get it running. Excuse me, get it running. Do 1 or 2 matches with it. I think it was 1 match, then the UK finale, and then I was off to the States with it. So I planned it so it was going to be going to the States like 600-700 rounds in. It wasn't going to be going there being on 1800.
Yeah, so you made a conscious decision this season, I seem to remember, to focus on centre fire, not to get involved in all of the PR22 shooting that was going on, and really dedicated to centre fire.
Yeah. I was quite gutted. Well, I wasn't gutted, but I wasn't as happy last year with my performance as I wanted to be. I was still fine tuning my equipment, making some decisions on what I wanted to use. I think I was still jumping between the decision of shall I run a suppressor or a brake last year. So this year I finalised everything. I did everything for myself. I dropped a few sponsors, went with kit that I wanted to use, and went ahead and did it. I bought what I wanted to do, and I thought I really want to concentrate on just centre fire. And then a few of the other UK guys were saying, "Oh, get into the 2-2. We got the 2-2 World Championships," and I just thought it's going to take away from my focus of what I wanted to do this year. And although it didn't finish how I wanted it to, I'm still really happy with it. We had a good year.
Yeah, well done, mate. I think you made the right choices there. Absolutely.
Thank you.
That was an amazing improvement from one year to the next.
Yeah.
Lawrence, how did your trip go?
Fantastic trip. Fairly disastrous first day of the match. Had some pretty major mechanical issues, we can call them that. And it really, wiped out my first 2 stages. But I didn't give up. And to be honest with you, my personal goal going out there was not a placement, knowing it was the first time for me going to, I know, saying anything like that, because obviously we have been to 2 World Championships now. But the PRS finale is really, it's the elite of the elite of the elite. It's the Formula One. Yeah, it is special. And there's a lot of other elements there. Never having shot a field match or field style match in that sort of environment, Twin Peaks, or like Andy said, occasionally called Box Canyon, is a phenomenal place. The match directors and the team that put it on, it really was, to me, absolutely gobsmacking. And also to follow on from what Dan said earlier, he said it wasn't that complicated to cause a fire. I think that shows just how on form he was, that he didn't even notice that, because I have never shot such a complex and I mean, I won't swear what I would normally say, how I would call it, but there was much skullduggery afoot in that sense of trying to trip you up at every possible part, even on target transitions. If they could make it slightly more complicated to change if you'd gone left to right 3 times, then there would be a right to left just to catch you, and or something like that. The movements, anything. And so going back to my personal goal for that was really to learn. I tried to go into it as open a mind as possible and pick up as many things as I could, even just looking at how the other people do it, who, I mean, they really do have shooters that are doing this nearly every day. As much as some of them will say they don't, we met shooters who are paid to shoot. And that's a whole different world to what we've got in the UK. Hopefully one day it's achievable, but that might well be a pipe dream. But, I'm certainly not going to gamble my house on it. But in the meantime, for us to be able to learn from how it's being done already, the smallest things can make such a big difference in this sport. Like Josh said about equipment, technique, anything like that, and what a fantastic opportunity to learn. Obviously, I'm very, very pleased that I didn't come last, and I still beat 36 or 37 people, I think. So
wow.
Out of the top 250 of PRS worldwide, I'm not that miffed about it. Yes, I know I could have done better if I hadn't have had issues, but I didn't go there to berate myself about performance. I went there to learn, and I achieved that. So I'm actually happy about it.
Look, even if you'd have come in last, you're there with 250 of the best shooters from across the world. That's an achievement in itself. It's
I think so.
Once you're there, the position almost doesn't matter.
I know it sounds a bit lame, and it's probably everybody's going to think that I'm saying it just because of the company at the moment. But I've got to say, like, I had a phenomenally good time with all of you guys. Like, I would 100% do that again. Like, it's let alone the match, and I think that gets lost in people think, oh, you're getting a place to the finale, you're doing that trip, and that's just that tick box. But actually, there's so much more to it than that. Not just the opportunity to go to that match, but it's as a group, I think we all gelled really well, and we had some phenomenal experiences. Even the pistol range shooting, like 15 minutes before we had to be at the airport, Andy made some phone calls and we got into a pistol range, and then we're frantically watching the gunpowder residue off our hands so it doesn't get picked up by the airport scanner, which it did anyway. We all got stopped. That was the whole thing was a phenomenal experience.
I'm just feeling sorry for myself for not going also, but I'm feeling sorry for Trez as well, because Trez, you weren't there, mate, were you? So quietly puffing away on your cigarette there, just listening to the stories.
Yeah, I just remember my trip from last year and how good it was, and I was gutted I couldn't be. I got married this year, so I just didn't have the funds to be able to go all the time to be able to go either. So, but I will be 1,000,000% going next year.
Excellent. Good to hear it. James, how was your trip? Good match?
I'm kind of going to bounce a little bit off Loz here. I wasn't going there to expect anything. As long as it wasn't last, I was happy. So I reached out to the very kind man that is Mr. Greg Bell and asked him if I could borrow a rifle, which he kindly lent me.
Very good of him.
So yeah, he loaded me up some ammo and met me there on train-up day and went, "Here you go, sir. Thank you very much." And that was that. I was away with the mixer. It was a different experience for me. I'd never shot abroad. I went to the finale last year, but never shot it.
Yeah.
Just went more for supporting the lads. I kind of look at more of a business trip than I do of a shooting. Like, it's not for me. Like, we put on the matches all year round to see these lads exceed. Like the trip out there, one, I couldn't really afford to shoot it, but two, I wanted to get the photos, get everything I could for the lads, and just be there and experience it with the lads. So that was last year. This year, and I thought, however much I enjoyed the photos last year, I want to shoot it this year.
Yeah.
So went out. First 4 stages, I was really happy, shooting pretty well, and then we won't talk about the rest of it. The wheels
All right, okay.
The axles went, the engine fell out, everything kind of went wrong after that. But
you had an amazing time anyway.
Oh, I absolutely loved it. Like, my wife still says to this day that America was a holiday. It was not a holiday. It was hard work, and the lads will probably vouch for it. It was jet lag to 6.5 hour drive, to rushing around to get to meals, to get back to sleep, to get up, to get to the range, to get back to meals. It was hard work, and the lads knocked it out of the park and how they performed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody's talked about the effort that went into preparing for the match, the difficulties of traveling with the time differences and everything, and then just how technical the match was, and the spread of targets, across that full range of angles, and it must have been such an intense match. Just you needed to be so focused, I should imagine, for the full 2 days and beyond.
I think on average, I think over the week, the 6 days we were there, 5 days, I don't know. It worked. I think I had like 20 hours sleep, 22 hours sleep.
Wow, yeah.
And I think Andy was pretty much on the same point, and I'm guessing most of the other lads are not many miles off.
I was saying to a lot of the guys when I got back home and went into the shop, a few of my customers come in and they're like, "How'd you get on? How'd you get on? How was it? Tell me all about it." They come in for coffees just to come and catch up. And I explained it to them of 5 days of constantly shooting, eating, sleeping. I don't think any of us had half an hour at one certain point just to go, "I'll tell you what, I'm just going to lie on my bed and just chill out for an hour." There wasn't the whole weekend. It didn't stop. We were straight back to the hotel, shower, straight out, food, straight back, sort your kit out, straight on the range or after sleep. And sleep was 6 hours. And then straight out to the range, grab some breakfast en route or somewhere else. And then you do the day of shooting, straight back, half an hour, get showered, straight back in the car, out again. And that was it. That was the whole week.
Crazy.
Breakfast was before the hotel started serving it. It was even before Mackey's was open. And then we'd get back after everything else as well. It was a marathon of competing.
Does sound full on, absolutely full on. Andy, you have been putting a lot of effort into your shooting, I would say, over the past year, and I see just how much it means to you to bring about those personal improvements and move your game on. And I've seen you shoot some awesome matches just recently, and that was just underlined at the weekend where you had an absolutely amazing result. Was this your second time shooting in USA?
Yeah, it's my second time. The first year went over with all those lads. Me and Dan had the same ammo problems, unfortunately. But to be honest with you, I think that's probably just an excuse. I was still very novice in what I was doing the last time we were in the States. I don't think I'd have improved a great deal if I didn't have the ammo problems. The big turning point for me this year was modern day sniper stuff.
Yeah.
It drastically improved the way that I shoot. The last sort of thing for me now is in my mental game. But the improvements are there. I finished 5th overall at the match this weekend, just gone. Should have been a 3rd. Yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda. As simple as that, really. Dropped two silly impacts, which would have nudged me up to 3rd place. But there's a couple of drop stages. I didn't get to shoot one of the stages, but yeah, it is what it is. So I was happy with 5th overall.
So you must have gone into that USA match, realizing the improvements that you're making in your game. Did you go into that match in USA with more confidence or more expectations on yourself, maybe?
I went in knowing that I wasn't shooting my own rifle, wasn't shooting my own ammo.
Okay.
And I just
you shoot better without your own ammo and your own rifle, though. That's not an excuse.
I know. I shoot better when I shoot Joe Pask's rifles. No, I went over there with the view of having fun, and I told all the lads that before we went. I'm just going to have a go fun. That's literally all I want to do. As long as I can beat what I did last year, and then I'll be happy. Day one started off with an absolute shocker for basically the whole of my squad and a squad either side of us, because we were shooting directly into the sun. So we kind of went onto stage and went, where's the target? We can't see anything. So yeah, first day was a bit naff. Didn't work out as well as I'd liked it to. Rifle wasn't grouping quite as well as it normally does. And I know that the chap who I borrowed the kit off, Brad Wright, who works for Loophole, is a good buddy of mine. His rifles don't group big; they bug hole all the time. And there was something up. It was strange because we both tested it and it was throwing flyers. But anyway, that's just it is what it is. So day one wasn't as good as I'd liked. Day two managed to pull it out of the bag a bit. Had a much better day. I think I finished 202 points behind Loz overall. What did you finish, Loz? 213. I think I was 214 or 15 over the weekend. So, but I just wanted to have fun. It's literally we watch these guys shoot their asses off all the year. It's good to go over there and just see how everybody fares. And the main thing I've been asked now since we got backed by quite a few people is, so how do you think we fare against the Americans now? And I've been telling everybody, do you know what? We're well in the mix now. We've not been doing it as long, but we are well in the mix. And the boys proved it by going over there and doing it. And they've done it on the big stage in the world last year. Loz, obviously, you won factory stuff, so you're obviously mixing it with them, rubbing shoulders with the big boys there. And I believe that next year, I think every single shooter that we take over there will finish inside the top 100. I think we do have that improvement in us each year, definitely. The match for me, loved it. Thought the range was incredible. I was just happy just to walk away with my box of 250 Peterson cases off the price table. So yeah, it was
nice. Out of the way for them.
Yeah. It was incredible. And to just share the experience with the lads was awesome. Me and Loz have got a new bond. I think most people know that me and Loz maybe clash over the series because we've got two very, very strong personalities. But I think this brought everybody closer as shooters and as mates. This trip, it was incredibly good. So I thank you, gents, for an awesome trip. It was very good. It was very good.
It's a good job Josh doesn't get jealous.
I was going to say, you're just going to have to bond with the rest of us now, Andy.
It's right. I can tell you what his secret tickle spot is.
Right here, under the beard.
So, guys, I mean, look, it was an amazing 2023 Precision Rifle Series UK season. Fantastic finale. With high drama. Really enjoyed it. And then obviously you guys have done yourselves proud to a man over in America. So again, congratulations for your success over there. So what's happening with the series for 2024?
We seem to when we go into the off season, we have a couple of weeks off, me and the lads, or we at least try to have a couple of weeks off, and then all of a sudden the messages will start flying between us, and we'll work out new stuff for the following series and what's going to happen. Major changes to things are price decreases in our match fees. We've also said we wanted to try and reduce the fee as soon as we could. We're no longer doing a few bits, so we just chopped the price down a little bit. There will be a few bits and pieces announced around European qualification, as well as Carless DLR qualification, as well as other bits and pieces. We've got some epic sponsorship deals going out this year, which we're very, very grateful for. There'll be an announcement going out within the next sort of couple of weeks on that, on our top 6, on the 6 match sponsors, which is unbelievable. When you see it, you'll see it just how good it is. We've got ideas for on range. There's new props and barricades being sorted. We're doing cross lane firing. There's not going to be any coloured firing points anymore. So it's just going to be coloured targets, not firing points. So you might shoot from blue to orange, or pink to orange, or pink to yellow, or whatever it may be. There won't be blue to yellow because it's a bit too much of an angle. But there's going to be a lot of change, and it's going to be mixed up to benefit the shooters. Basically, as every year we go in and we think, what can we do to make it better for the shooters? I'm sure the boys will echo what I've said there.
I mean, it's an expensive sport, so any price reduction is always going to be welcomed by the shooters, and it's fantastic that you're going to be so pro shoot still going to be the home six matches. But what you're going to do is you're just going to open up that range a little bit more, so we can get a few different angles and
there's various stuff
with the wind
we've got lined up for the range. So the people that know pro shoot, obviously it's limited to what we can do there. For what we've got, it's amazing. The only thing it doesn't really have is angle changes and the distance. But the way that we're going to try and combat the angle changes is, like you say, rather than doing the lanes that we had, and I'll explain why we had the lanes. The lanes were put in place so that we could plan the match from home, so we didn't have to be on the range to be able to sort out targetry. Now that we know the range like the back of our hands, now we can we can design the course of fire without having to use that. We've got to go out. Me and the lads are going to get down to the range before the season starts, and we're going to have to re-angle some targets. We are going to introduce new targets, new shapes, new sizes on multiple targets. That will all be done so that we can combat the range then. So if some people say, 600 yards isn't far enough. Well, can you hit a 1 inch? Can you hit a 3-inch target at 600? That's just as difficult as it in an IPSC at 1,000. So, if probably harder, but yeah, it's we're just trying to combat different approaches that we have there. We've decided to, like I say, drop the price, and we will say we'll drop the price again if we keep getting the numbers. If we keep getting more people coming, the price will keep coming down, and it is going to depend on how many numbers we get. If we can get averaging 50, 60 people there at every single match for a couple of seasons, it's going to come down again. Yeah. So I encourage anybody that's coming here, everybody's got to help this sport go forward. We can't keep, cost of living is affecting everybody, and, available of components, the prices of stuff, blah, blah, blah. It's making the sport even more expensive. So we're going to try and, if we're going to keep growing, we've got to have more people there. And the only way we can get more people there for the Chinese whispers going around is the price. 2 days is a lot of money. So if we can bring down the price incrementally, we can get more people there. Hopefully that does happen. That's our target next year, is to average, maybe 10, 12 people higher per match. That's a good steady, increase on what we've had.
But I think it will. With Bisley, sorry to jump in there, Trez, with Bisley doing some stuff there as well, I can see Bisley being the nursery of the sport. I don't think Bisley is ever going to be the high end of the sport. If anything, I can see Bisley being the nursery of it. And you're going to get those guys which are going to go to there. They're going to go and play on the couple lanes they've got there open for their members to go and shoot on, and think, actually, I want to go and give this a go with the big boys.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, hopefully, Bisley's a cracking place. I've shot there at your first match, Josh. It's a great range. Very different to Pro Shoot, because Pro Shoot throws up weird things that it does there, whereas Bisley's very consistent. You get the wind at Bisley, you've got it until it dramatically changes. Pro Shoot does weird things with the lighting and stuff like that, especially towards the end of the day in the more late season matches. So we've got ideas. We kind of said to ourselves that we're going to concentrate on quality rather than quantity. So we're going to have a few more permanent props that are going to be built to a much, much, much higher standard. Ones that we can do multiple stages from. Investing more money into that type of thing, and these things cost an absolute fortune to build. If you want to, buy treated timber and postcrete and spend the time on the tools to be able to build it properly, blah blah blah.
Get James to nick it.
What are you trying to say?
Yeah, but he nicks the shit stuff. Sorry, I just swore. But yeah, we can get wood. It comes out of our ears, but it's not the right wood to be leaving on a range for 5 years in the outside and stuff like that. So we're going to start thinking about quality and try and do that. We're going to change the matchbooks slightly, improve on them again. And we already think we've got the best matchbooks in the world, but we're going to try and make them even better. So yeah, there's things in the works that everyone will find out when it comes to February, and people turn up to our first match.
I mean, it sounds it's great to hear the plans, and it does sound very promising. And I agree with Josh's point. I think having different venues, not necessarily a PRS UK match, but I think having something down in the southeast will bring a whole new clientele into the sport. And having had a taste of it, they'll want to go and shoot that 2-day match and have that experience. And once they get up there and see the quality of the product that you guys are putting on and understand the level of competition at those matches, I think a lot of people will get hooked and will become regulars. Lawrence, did you have a point?
I think the just to add to what the guys were saying, then it's happening at both ends. I think Bisley and the NRA are finding their position in all of this, and I think that's a great thing. We saw that with the match on the weekend. We've seen faces there that we would never have seen at the other matches because they're already NRA members and they're used to going busy. It's in their comfort zone. That's exactly what we want. We want people to have a taste of this sport, and then the whole sport grows as a whole. But it's also happening at the other end. At the top end of the sport, the championship matches are expanding. I'll let Andy touch on that a little bit more because I don't want to steal his thunder, really.
Please.
But yeah, there's exciting things happening at both ends, and I'll keep my mouth shut until Andy talks.
Go on then, Andy, on to you, mate. Do you want to explain a little bit about what Lawrence was talking about there?
So UK based, we're changing our format to we will take your top 3 match scores plus finale into account. Okay, which will appease a lot of people in here. Plus, there's things going on with Precision Rifle Series Europe. So there will be a European, which Loz will enjoy because I know he likes shooting in Europe. There Precision Rifle Series Europe. There's stuff going on with that where we will announce the full details on it, but it's a European series, obviously with a finale as well. At least our June match will be used as a qualifier for that. And then obviously the other countries, I think there's Spain, Italy, Poland, Slovakia, Norway are running the Viking Trail as part of it. So there's a whole bunch of them all in there that forms up a European series. So it's more shooting opportunity for all of us guys, more places to go shoot, more silverware available, and we can go show the Europeans how we do it as well, which is really good. But on top of that, there is also more opportunity because 3 of our matches next year will also be Carless DLR qualifying matches. So there's the Carless DLR stuff, as well as I'm pretty sure this is finalized, and this will definitely appeal to a lot of the Americans. The UK series will be classified as Pro Series match, and if an American shooter comes across, they can use that as one of their qualifying scores towards the finale. So that's going to appeal to have American shooters come across to the UK.
That for me just underlines the quality of the matches that you guys are putting on, that you get that sanction.
Yeah, Ken Wheeler. I mean, even Shannon. I was speaking to Shannon. Shannon's blown away. Obviously, he's no longer we're running PRS anymore. But Ken Wheeler, by the way, what a nice guy. Just one of the nicest guy on the planet. He's doing an awesome job, and he's absolutely blown away with what we do here. And he wants to grow things further. He's appointed Runar Johnson as international director. Runar has been in touch with us straight away and absolutely loves the way that we do things here. And is using us as basically the case study of what should be done. We're uploading our scores to PRS websites. We're doing things a certain way. Matchbooks are done a certain way. Stable props, etc., etc., etc. So it's all helping solidify what's happening across Europe. So yeah, there's a lot going on, which is going to really broaden horizons for shooters over this side of the Atlantic. Absolutely. And there's a big old grin on Lawrence's face and Josh's face and everybody else's, because I think they can see the potential of what's going to happen with this. And we're looking forward to it. I've got everything crossed that we'll peak at 100 shooter match next year. I reckon we'll do it.
Excellent.
Come on, Chances. Let's get you into Wales.
Yeah, let's go practice and chat across here. Chances, yeah. Let's get them across here.
It's just fantastic to hear about the level of collaboration that different series and organisations have going on right now. I know next year isn't a qualification series for the GBPRA. We're PR22 qualification series next year, and the year after will be Centre Fire qualification for the next Worlds.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic. There's so much collaboration going on.
Yeah, it's really making a big difference. It really is.
Absolutely. So Dan and Rory, having heard all that, I guess you guys will be mad keen to be getting back over to the UK to shoot a few matches.
Oh yeah, can't wait now. But like that, because the matches are so good, we have our qualifications now for the Worlds for 2024 in America, and we're telling the guys here, like, if they really want to go and experience what real PRS matches are like, they really have to travel to the PRS UK matches, because in Ireland we are quite limited. It's a flat square range and F-class range, so you can only do so much on it. And I think if the Worlds might have been, some of these guys, the Worlds next year might be their first proper PRS match. I think it'd be too much of an eye-opener. So we're hoping to get them over for a few matches next year as well.
Yeah, that'd be great to see more come over. And Rory, what's it like travelling across the Irish Sea?
Bit boring now at this stage,
Too often.
Yeah, Friday's a long day. It's usually starting around 3 o'clock in the morning, and we get over. We arrive at Pro Shoot around 4 or 5 o'clock in the day. So it's a 12-hour shift to get over there, but it's worth it because the match is so good.
Yeah. I mean, other than the time, is it easy enough to cross over the border with the firearms? And what about the costs? Is it not too much? Is it the ferry you come over on, or?
It's not cheap, but PRS isn't cheap for everything basically, for the amount of travel people have to do. But like the ferry's about 200 quid each. So, and then it's just the diesel and the van based on the rest of the way. But it's just you're definitely missing Friday and Monday off work as well. So every time you come over, you have to plan that it's a 4-day weekend. 4 days gone. But
you just need Dan to sign your holiday form off, don't you?
Yeah, you need to ask the boss.
Not a chance. I think we should more. Technically, I think we shoot more international matches than most people, if you count UK.
We actually shot more matches in the UK last year than in Ireland.
Yeah.
Wow! I mean, that just shows the commitment that you guys put into your sport, and you're not alone in that, because there's another couple of other guys that travel over on a fairly regular basis as well.
Oh, we've got a regular Belgium now.
Jan.
He come to a Monday sniper course, and I don't think he's missed a match since.
Jan, we're getting a good following from Europe, which is real.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and shoot in Spain next year, tie it in with work, because I've got work. I'm often in Seville now, so I'm going to try and tie something in. And shoot a Spanish match, because they've been doing it for a while now, have quite high shooting numbers, often in the hundreds, which will be quite cool. But yeah, it's looking good for 2024. A whole bunch of new sponsors on board. Carlis are now headline sponsor for the 2024 and 2025 series, so we've got a 2-year deal with them. And as I mentioned to you earlier, we've got some crackers in the bag for announcing for the headline, the match title sponsors. Josh, do you want to drop your one in there for the first match of the year?
I was just about to ask. Go for it, Josh.
Would you want to let me do
now, Andy? When's it getting released, Andy?
I mean, do you know what? I'm more than happy for you to announce our first match of the year, mate. I don't know when this will go out, but it's all good.
Yeah, you'll be doing it for a few days, Christian. So yeah, you're going to do it in a few days as well, Andy, won't you? So yeah, being the UK importer and distributor of Masterpiece Arms, MPA in the States have kindly supported the PRS UK season and want to headline sponsor, with assistance of C2 Precision, the first match of the season.
Yep.
Excellent.
It's going to be a banging prize table. I'd go as far to say is probably going to be the best prize table we've had yet.
Right. Well, that wasn't what I thought Andy was asking you to talk about. I thought he was going to ask you.
Let me go back one place. From one manufacturer.
Yeah.
The prize tables are always great at PRS, but they're from multiple manufacturers of different brands and different things. You're going to have quite a few decent bits of kit from Masterpiece Arms on the table.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I was actually going to ask you about your match on the 29th of December, but let's pause that just for the time being. But so do you want to just tell me not me, but do you want to tell our listeners and viewers what's the date of that match?
Oh, good. Now you put me on the spot. 1 second, I'll double check before I give the wrong number.
February the 17th.
Yeah, we had to change it because stupidly I didn't look at the calendar properly, and I put it on the same weekend as the British Shooting Show, which wouldn't have gone down a storm. So it's actually the weekend before that. Let me just confirm this. I really want to make sure I give an exact date, because otherwise I will look silly. What's the weekend before there?
Well, while Andy's looking for that, does somebody want to get ready with the website address?
That's Andy's job as well.
That's Andy as well.
Precision Rifle Series -UK.com.
Trez, say that again, but very, very slowly for our listeners.
I can't do that. I'm from Birmingham, mate.
And not even a Birmingham accent.
Precision Rifle Series -UK.com.
Yeah.
And just go to the matches tab.
Yeah. And first match of the year is the 17th and 18th of February.
17th and 18th February, and sponsored by MPA.
Headline on that match is Masterpiece Arms, in conjunction with C2 Precision,
Excellent, fantastic. And Masterpiece Arms have been massive supporters of the sport for such a long time. I mean, the work that they did with supporting with the media at the PR22 World Finals, and again, I think they were sponsoring a lot of the coverage, weren't they, at the finale in Kansas, not Texas. So yeah, thanks again to Masterpiece Arms for all their support for the sport. That's fantastic news.
Yeah, could be exciting. You can see a little bit more involvement from them next year within the series and within a few other things. It's going to be exciting year next year.
Yeah,
absolutely.
C2 Precision has also guaranteed the weather for the February match.
There we go. But it is fantastic that we've got industry getting behind the sport so heavily in the UK now. And I mean, if we're talking about prices of things and incentives for people to come along and maybe recuperate a little bit of that match fee, a prize table is an excellent way to do it. I mean, my favourite item off the prize table at the finale was this cap. Absolutely loved it. Saved me a few bob buying a new one, because I'm always in need of new caps. So thanks for that. And if you go to a precision rifle series match, and with those big prize tables, and you take something off there, you could, Andy, you could be picking something off there with a significant value. I mean, £50 voucher for Ridgeline, or a magazine from MDT or something, and it really does help. And somebody usually gets something off the price table, and it does help to offset that fee a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. We genuinely couldn't do this without sponsors, and we're always very, very grateful. And I try and make a point of announcing and saying as many opportunities as I can, how grateful we are to all the sponsors for what we get. And it does make a big difference. It does make a massive difference. There's been stuff on those prize tables throughout the year which have been fantastic. Support last year from companies like Phoenix Barrels, which I know a couple of the guys in here are sponsored by. But even not just that, it's just some of the guys are very humble with what they get. I know, Josh, you gifted a barrel that you took off the prize table last year, and I wouldn't hesitate to say that it would happen again with some of the shooters next series as well. The prize tables they're phenomenal, and that's half the fun of it, is having the opportunity to take something off there, which does offset your cost. It's not a cheap sport. It's really not a cheap sport. So
I gifted a scope, but I gifted it to my son, so I don't think it counts.
Hey.
Lawrence, you're gesticulating at Josh, so I guess that's the sign you give him when it's bedtime. Have we overrun that? Too late.
Very good. Or... Very good. Didn't see that one coming. No, I think, it depends. Josh is in the driving seat with what he wants to say, with reference to the prize table, etc. But yeah, talking about things like magazines, like you say, caps, etc. I think if you want to significantly refresh your shooting gear and make some very significant upgrades, then you better get yourself to the MPA match.
Yeah.
Right, we can't pick up off the bloody prize table.
Andy wouldn't be able to choose what chassis to pick.
He'd have another one.
Is there going to be chassis, Josh?
Oh.
Yeah,
brilliant. Guys, Lawrence did ask us to keep this one short and sweet, and I think we're already at about 1 hour and 40 minutes, something like that. So it feels like we should start to wrap it up. Is there any last things that anybody wants to talk about?
I think we're good.
I think probably we ought to say a quick thank you to the PRS guys in the States for sort of welcoming us to go over. Normally, most countries only get 3 entries. They gave us 5, and they also invited us, like the lads have already said. We didn't really go a night without having some form of meal or banquet or table booked somewhere. So we were well and truly welcome to sort of get involved and meet loads of guys, and looked after really, really well. And then also, I think a big thank you to PRS UK. Like, the lads do a hell of a job, give up a lot of their time to allow us to shoot. So, yeah, thanks to you three guys.
Very welcome.
Well said, Jerry.
Absolutely agree with that. I'd like to say about Mike Burdis at Phalanx Arms as well, that sorted our ammunition for me and Joe. I think some of the other guys as well.
And Irish.
Everyone.
And Irish.
Yeah, I would like, in my own ego, I'd like to think I'm not that bad at hand loading, but honestly, the ammo that he made was just outstanding. Even though it's the same components as I use, so I'm still trying to pick his brains about what he does.
How somebody can load ammo the other side of the Atlantic with no rifle to reference it against, and it work as well as it did is fair play.
Yeah,
Alpha brass, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Any last ones? No? Okay. Well,
we'll see you in
Lawrence,
2024.
Trez, Dan, Rory, Joe, Josh, James, Andy, thank you for joining me on
sorry, Christian.
Shooter Ready. Oh, go on.
You were just going to say you wanted to talk to me about my match, so I'll make it really quick. There's a C2 Precision Exmoor last qualifier. Actually, no, I'll let you talk about it, Christian. So last qualifier.
Yeah, it's the very final centerfire qualifier for the IPRF World Championships in Colorado in the USA, not Texas, Colorado, USA in September 2024. And Josh's match, so C2 Precision match down in Devon on Exmoor, which I'm promised will be an absolutely stunning location for a precision rifle match. High round.
Can't promise the weather yet.
Can't promise the weather. What is it, 120 round match or something?
Yeah, bring over it. I'll confirm that as I'm writing the course of fire the next week. Everyone who's booked on will get an attendance email, a joining instructions email, which will say joining location, where we meet in the morning, what time to be there, round count. I was going to say what vehicle to bring, but if anyone who's listening to this is coming, try and bring something that goes off road. There will be a vehicle to get us up onto the range, but it's going to be quite rough. So if you've got a 4x4, you're going to be able to park on the range. If you haven't, you're going to have to get kit carted up. There's still a few numbers that people can book on. I can take more. We've got it set for 40 at the minute. We're on 36 at the minute, I think. So there's a few more places left on the website, but if they sell out, then I'll stick a few more on the website. It should be a great match. We've got a lot of props that are set up. We've got concrete tubes, massive tank traps, rooftops, real life trees. Lots of decent, solid stuff in a real wild location on Exmoor. The first match we had was I think how many miles per hour wind did we have? Loz 36.
37. I got on my Kestrel. Yeah.
37. Yeah, it was.
Don't put people off.
It was windy, but. We've been up there 2 or 3 times this year, and it's been still as a not a breath of wind. So it depends what you get on the day, same as anywhere else in the country. But it's a completely new venue, and if you want to try and get that last position in the GB team, and you want to try and get those points to make it for the qualification, then come along.
If you're factory shooter though, don't bother. I want to go to America. Christian? I want to go to America and I'm in 4th place, hanging on like that. So, don't bother shooting. Or if you do shoot in open. Josh, what's the website?
c2precision.co.uk. Go to the navigation bar at the top and you'll find competitions on there somewhere. Click the competitions and there'll be a December the 29th. So get your Christmas hat on and come along if you fancy it.
Yeah, bring a mince pie for everyone. Right, cool. Excellent.
Thanks, Christian.
Okay. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you tonight. Let's not be strangers. Let's do another podcast soon. And thanks for coming along. Good night.
No worries.
Having us, Christian.
Thanks, Christian.
Thank you.
Cheers.